Hello and welcome to another episode of The Prescription. I've got the great one here, Dr. Mnandi, and myself, the Vivi. Doc, how are you?
Thanks very much, Vivi. We are back again. Excited to see some people saying a lot about our podcast. Already they're looking at their teams from a different perspective because of the information that we give. So it's exciting the fact that we give them information that they're going to use and know what is really happening in football. But I just want to say we're back and we're going to go with the bank today. 3 topical and very, very interesting stories today.
Super interesting, Doc. We want to start to talk about last week, man. Bafana?
Yeah.
Coach, what's the story there?
Vivi, very surprised. One thing, let's start from the top. It's a bad reflection on our side to say we're going to announce a coach and we don't announce a coach. That is a reflection of disorganization, no order, no structure. And I can assure you right now, staff are still not to nominate someone. They lied when they say, they've already selected someone. They're going to announce on Saturday. That is why they postponed the announcement. But I'm still sitting on top of my head. I see Carlos Quiroz is the fan favorite, is a favorite to get the post. But my worry is, if you select Carlos Quiroz, that means he's going to start from scratch. So a local coach is the better option. And I see in those 3 names, Hervé Renner, Carlos Quiroz, Hugo Bros, no local there. And what does that mean? It means any coach that is selected from these 3, he needs to start from scratch.
All of them starting from scratch, I get you. A lot of people were surprised by the Quiroz thing. They didn't even know he was in the picture. But I guess he's got a bit of an understanding. But hey, look, we've got to go local. What's the problem there? Why aren't we going local?
I think the thinking is very simple. We've always had this mentality to say Europe is better than us. And it can bring a bit of discipline in our squad. But I don't really think our challenge is the discipline. Our challenge is the identity. Our challenge is our players need to be pushed. Our challenge is the fact that we've lost hunger and desire. And next day it's a World Cup. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And in Qatar, we need to be there. We've missed the last 3 World Cups, and we need to be there in the next World Cup. So I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But again, the coach that needs to come in needs to know our football first. Because yes, Carlos Quiroz, he coached, I said it last week, I said, he's been with us 2002, and I was part of his squad.
Yeah, you did say.
But that doesn't make him a favorite to say he's going to be selected. But I think from where I'm sitting, from the perspective, I think the local coach is the better coach.
We've touched on development structures for the footballers. Do we have a development structure for coaches in the country?
A lot of people go to coaching courses and think they are coaches. Coaching is a calling. And we suffer. Yes. A lot of people go to coaching courses and they come back, they think they are coaches. But coaching is a calling. But to be quite honest, SAFA needs to improve in restructuring their courses, in restructuring their modules, restructuring the knowledge, because ultimately the modules changes every month, and SAFA are still sitting on the same level, which they need to change. So I still believe that it's a job that we, all of us as South Africans, need to make sure, even the guys that are going for coaching courses and all that, need to also evolve yourself. Don't rely only on SAFA. You need to evolve yourself.
Yeah, shots. No, 100%. We've still got, this has been going on for about 2 decades now, this coaching situation. But look, we go where teams got 3 coaches, essentially. We go to Sundowns. They had their first loss in the Dstv Premiership. The hands of the Chiefs, can you believe it, your alma mater? But now, I looked at it, Doc. I said, Chiefs, Sundowns. Now, then I looked at the schedule. I see, okay, Sundowns had 2 more games. I see most of the Sundowns players are in the Bafana team. and they just came off the back. I think it was end of March they were playing. Am I right in my, am I right in saying that, hey, these guys are fatigued? Or what's the story there?
You're knowledgeable now. You see now you are very knowledgeable.
I'm learning from you, Doc.
But let's break it down. Sundowns still on top of the log with 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
But 2 games in hand doesn't mean points. Those are not points. You still have to play for that.
Yeah.
I like your knowledgeable mind when you say, to be quite honest, Sundowns are not getting results now because of being fatigued.
Yeah. Okay.
Not only physically fatigued, but also mentally fatigued. And I'll tell you why. I sat down, I watched the last 3 games, in fact, the last 4, including the Nedbank Cup, where they didn't score. They only scored against Chiefs. So that means in the last 3 games they scored against Chiefs. Yeah. But it's the scoring part, I see it. But also the team looks lethargic. The team looks tired. I want to believe that the coaches need to be brave. You bought a lot of players, rotate the squad to refresh the squad.
You have to.
Because if you're saying to me you bought players, but you're scared to rotate, yes, some coaches are affected with the fact that they're worried about continuity and consistency. But my worry is then the team is suffering. And now ultimately, that's why they got a loss against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
Because of being fatigued. If you saw the game. Vivi, there's no better knowledge than what you've just said now. The team is fatigued, mentally fatigued, physically fatigued. The coach needs to be brave to say, guys, I'm giving the other guys a chance so that we can refresh and rotate the squad.
Now, I've had 2 theories there, Doc. Now, you must just shut me down if I'm way off here. Number 1, Sundowns. Okay, people chat about this. But they just buying players. They've got the money, buy players to take away from other teams. Theory number 1. Number 2, do they just buy players so the practice sessions are better? Or what's the story? Because it confuses me as to why you wouldn't want to rotate. Is it just, okay, guys, because I've heard a lot of pros, they say, hey, we go hardest at training. Training is sometimes harder than matches. Is that, or in your mind, I don't know.
You know, Trevor, when they buy players, Sundowns, a lot of people are confused with the fact that they're taking the best players in the teams, in the different teams.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest, Mtsipe said he wants to dominate domestically and continentally. This is a time where they need to show that we've got quality in the bench, we've got quality that is left at home, and ultimately we need to use it, because it's pointless to buy players, pay them a lot of money, and make some sitting at home, some are sitting on the bench. Yeah. So this is a high time where you are right when you say this rotation will be critical and good for refreshment, man. The players look tired. Temba's one, he's flat. Shalulile has been flat.
Yeah.
Sereno not bad enough, but I can assure you, Mabu, you see, when you start seeing a player affected in his decision making, you must know he's tired. Because I've already said, as a coach, you must be able to pick up. If a player you see anxiety, you see a player that now is rushing into making a proper decision, that player is fatigued. Let him rest 1 or 2 games, then you bring him back.
Now, is that both mentally and physically fatigue? Or is it mostly?
I think we spoke about one important thing last week: periodization. Periodization is how you load and unload the players. But you've already seen that players have played so many games in a short space of time. There's traveling involved, there's injuries involved, and players are different. You understand what I mean? And when players are different, it's always going to be challenging, because you can't periodize Vivi like the doctor, if you know what I mean.
No.
So it's gonna be a situation where you're gonna periodize players differently and individually. But important enough, why did you buy the quality players from different teams if you're not gonna use them? Are you doing it for framework, or are you doing it to try to destabilize other teams? This is the right time to make a rotation now.
Yeah, high time right now, Doc. But we go to a team who's not looking fatigued, not And let's enter into the prescription here as well. But
big time.
Benny's boys 5-1 against Cape Town.
Cape Town City, yeah.
Like Benny. Sure. Let's talk, Doc.
Now it's a reflection of what Benny has achieved with Cape Town City was not a fluke.
Yeah.
Because
I said it was a fluke as well. Not a fluke, but he went through it. But now he's proven to me, he's real. Benny's real.
No. He's very real, Vivi. He's very real. Let's look at the record, which is important. Unbeaten in 15 matches, 12 wins, 3 draws. Scored 23 goals, conceded 7 goals. Okay. And position 2, 1 point behind Sundowns. There's a possibility of winning a league there. If Sundowns slip up in the last 2 games that they have, there's a position of winning the league there. But let's look at what, in the prescription way, what has made AmaZulu, you understand what I mean, what they are now, because I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this thing. The very same players who are playing for AmaZulu, last day they almost got relegated, if you know what I mean. Penny, Moni, Perenom Vete, the 3 coaches.
Oh, yeah.
If you know inspiration, this is what exactly is happening at AmaZulu. 3 players played for Bafana Bafana. 3 players, they've made it all in football.
Legends.
And as a player that is playing right now, you want to show these legends that you're my icon, you're my role model. I want to do it for you. So it's an inspiration enough. I told you that last time, that Penny doesn't have to coach.
Yeah, you didn't say that once.
I told you, he doesn't have to coach. At times, he just finds them a bit of aggression there and there, but I think because of the players worship him, worship the fact that he has done it all in football.
Shot.
That is why the response from the players. But let's look at the important factors that has made what Penny has brought into that team. I said last time he brought in cohesion, the togetherness in that team, the fighting spirit. I mean, if you look at the dressing room, if you're a coach, you want to win things, you must win the dressing room. Number 2, team chemistry. That team, it looks like, you look at from the celebration point of view, when they celebrate, you see the unity between the team. Yeah. You see the love between the players. And number 3, I think the competition has improved in terms of how the team is playing now. Every player wants to play. Yes, every player wants to play. So I think Penny has done a lot in that aspect. And then number 4, he improved the motivation. When I say improved motivation, Zungu comes in now. Yeah. Monetary recognition. I think the bonus structure has changed.
Yeah.
That is why I said to you, Fagimalo Zobona. If you give me ching, I will see you.
Yes. And we're seeing it now.
Yeah, Zungu. That's where Zungu comes in, monetary recognition. And you know what it does? Players are going to give you optimal performances because of the monetary recognition. The last one, improve the focus, how to deal with the higher expectations. The higher expectation is AmaZulu to finish it top 4. Where they found themselves now, number 2, I think they've overachieved because the Zungu statement when the season started, when Penny came, he said he wants to finish top 4. Oh. So they've overachieved by being number 2, but there's a possibility of winning the league. So if the coach brings those 5 aspects, are very critical 5 aspects that a team, there's no way it can lose. And if I can assure you right now, I want you to watch AmaZulu every time they score. 11 players, they celebrate together, shows the team spirit.
We used to call that the Boston celebration back then.
Yes.
The boys were there as the hugs in. Everyone's in there. Yeah. You can see unit. I see what you mean. And the celebrations are a bit better. So good as well. Some top points there. Doc, do you see it? Okay, last season was what a wow with Chiefs messing up. AmaZulu, what are the chances? What are the chances of a miracle? I have to say a miracle season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Well, before.
I know what you mean. To be quite honest, I still think Sundowns will win the league.
Okay.
AmaZulu will finish second. Okay. I'm not saying I'm undermining AmaZulu, but I feel that I've been saying to a lot of people that to win the league, you must plan to win the league. When the season starts, you don't wake up and surprise people and winning the league. You understand what I mean? I had a fight with my colleague the other day. I said, you don't just win a league by fluking the league. You win the league by preparing and planning to win the league. And teams like Sundowns, Chiefs, and Pirates, they plan to win the league. They sit down and say, every 5 games, we're going to collect these points. You understand what I mean? So I believe that I'm saying I'm happy to see my former teammate Benny doing so well with Monip and Bele. But I must say that they've done a lot of work, a good job. Hence, you heard him said, the real AmaZulu will be seen next season. This season, it was just a glimpse and the highlights of people knowing what AmaZulu are about. But the real AmaZulu will be seen next season. But I'm also going to give him a bit of advice to say he needs to reinforce the squad. Yes, the squad is stronger, but he needs to reinforce the squad. But I still think Sundowns will win the league. AmaZulu will finish second. And because Arrows now are feeling hard done by because they didn't collect points in the last 2 games, but Sundowns are still going to win the league.
Hundreds. On that note, thank you. Thank you for your insights again. Always a pleasure. Doc, your final words for the people.
Final words, I just want to say, enjoying this show. People are maybe, like I said when we started, that a lot of people have given me a lot of response to say, we're very informative, we're educating, and obviously people wanted to get information firsthand from people that are knowledgeable. So I just want to say thank you for this opportunity and the space from the Marshall World of Sports and you, Vivi. I thank you for everything that you've done for me, my brother. It means a lot.
And I thank you, Doc. Blessings on blessings on blessings.
Thank you, Vivi.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Remember to follow Dr. Mnandi, follow Marshall World of Sports. And enjoy the weekend.